Congratulations on getting your LLC set up as well as obtaining your EIN. So what's next? The next step I'm going to tell you is go ahead and get yourself a business bank account. The reason I want this to be the next step is because the following things that you're actually going to have to do is going to come with a cost. And you want to immediately make sure that your personal finances are separated from your business finances. So when you're getting ready to pay for the things like the business license that we're going to talk about, I want that to come directly from your business bank account and not your personal one. Now, you may have to take personal money, of course, and then put into your business bank account to start with. However, make sure you go ahead and do that. Now, in order for you to set up a business bank account, you're going to need your EIN number, or articles of incorporation. You're probably also going to need an operating agreement. They may ask you for a business license. The most recent bank account I set up for a new entity, I did it completely online through a bank that I was already doing business with. They did not ask me for a business license, but they did ask me, because it was a home-based business, that I have any documentation that showed the address of the business with the name of the business. The whole process was done online. Here's a nectar nugget as it relates to the bank account. Go ahead and set up a checking account as well as a savings account. And this is so as you begin to make money, you can have your checking account for your operating expenses, but when you have profit left over, you can go ahead and stow that away into your savings account so you can build that up. That goes back and helps with cash flow that we talked about in another video. The next thing I want to talk about is business insurance. When it comes to business insurance, that's all going to be contingent upon what industry you're in. So I'm a pharmacist. I hardly work my drugstore, but when I do, I am expected to have professional liability or malpractice insurance. Our main consulting business, we have 28 employees that has technicians as well as pharmacists. We have a professional liability policy under our umbrella policy. That policy also includes our general liability insurance, which you're going to need depending on which industry that you are in. If you have an office or a business that has a physical location, you're going to want to have regular insurance on it in case there's fire or theft or water damage or something of that nature. The other forms of insurance is going to be cybersecurity. Cybersecurity insurance is not cheap, y'all. It is fairly expensive. Quite frankly, all of these are fairly expensive depending on what industry you're in. However, you're going to need cybersecurity insurance, especially if you're dealing with anything around credit cards, PII, PHI, which are just personally identifiable information, and personal health information. So if you're in the healthcare space like me, cybersecurity insurance, you're absolutely going to have. Workers' comp, you're going to have that. I don't know if people realize workers' comp is a form of insurance. It is workers' comp insurance, and you're going to need that if you actually have employees. Nectar nugget as it relates to business insurance is reach out to a local agent and see if they can broker out some of these services and get you the best quote. I would recommend that you get multiple quotes so that you can make sure you get the coverages that you need as well as a competitive rate. If you already have clients, make sure you check your contract to see what minimums they're asking that you have in your liability, your cybersecurity insurance, your professional E&O insurance, so that therefore you have the right policy to cover what your contract says that you're going to have. Then what I want you to look at is your business licenses and permits. Okay, this is going to be very important because depending on where you live, there's going to be certain business licenses and permits and registrations that you're going to have. Now, I don't care if you do business insurance or business licenses first. You can even do them together. But the point is you're going to need both. And so I have a download in the comments section that's going to go to the one stop for every single state. All right. And I like the business one stop because it's going to give you all the steps that is required in your state or location in order to do business. And so when you go there, you're already going to have the first two, which is your LLC, your EIN, registering with the state. You've already done all that. But the next one that comes up or somewhere shortly thereafter is going to be about how do you register your business and get a business license and a business permit. Maybe you have a drugstore, you're selling physical products like we are. Our over-the-counter products are subject to sales tax. When we collect that sales tax, we also have to send that sales tax back to the county or the state. So in order for you to do that, you have to have all that set up, and the business one stop will help you do that. Maybe you're in the food business, therefore you're going to have certain health permits. Now, our consulting organization operated for a couple of years without a business license. I was not aware that I needed one because at the time when we started, it was home-based, and then after home-based, we got an office space. I don't even recall why I ended up going to get the business license. The way it works here is they took how much our revenue was, and then they determined how much that we pay. It's almost like the business license or permit was a tax. And then they issued us a business license. Depending on how much we made, we paid the tax for it, and they gave us a business license. Now, that was per county. So we just moved from one county to another. So we had to go and get business license established in that county. So I don't know what it looks like in every state. I'm just telling you what it looks like here in South Carolina. But you are going to need a business license in order to operate business. Now, here's the thing. You want to make sure you have these things in place, because if you ain't making any money, like I just told you, it's all based on what you make. They're probably not going to come for you. But when you start making money and you're not paying that tax that's related to your business license, then that's when they're probably going to come after you, because now you're withholding revenue from that state agency or county agency or what have you. So you want to make sure that you have these things in place so you avoid fines, you avoid penalties, and you're just doing the right thing and having your company set up straight from the start. So the nectar nugget for you as it relates to business licenses is to get the download in the comment section, go to your business one stop, see which licenses and registrations that you need, and go ahead and set it up from the jump. Next, I want you to look at your industry and the services that you're providing and determine if there are certain credentialing requirements that are needed. So I just started a new entity that is going to be hiring a nurse practitioner, and then in exchange, that nurse practitioner is going to be billing for clinical services to a health plan. In order to get set up in the payment system, that nurse practitioner under the company has to be credentialed. I am a pharmacist. I don't have to necessarily be credentialed. I do have to keep my pharmacist license active, which means I have to do continuing education credits. I have to make sure I renew every year. That is a form of credentialing. So if you're in a business or a service where your people have certain licenses that they have to maintain and keep active, you want to make sure that you're keeping a running log of what those requirements are and making sure that you and your staff are going to be compliant. The only other thing that I would recommend, if possible, is when you're setting up your bank account, see if you're able to get a business credit card. Business credit cards come in handy because, number one, you're beginning to build business credit early on. And number two, it's going to help with your cash flow because you can put some of your expenses on the credit card and then pay it off every month once you receive payments from your clients. You may have to have a personal guarantor. In the beginning, we had to do that when we first started the business in order to get the business credit card, but it will be in your business name. So if you can, go ahead and get a business credit card. I don't think it's way up on the list. That's why I didn't put it under the bank account section, but it's just one of these additional recommendations that I want to just throw out there to you. So with that being said, now you have your LLC, you have your EIN, you've got your business bank account. You're no longer intermingling your personal and your business finances. You have used your business bank account to pay for the business license and registrations that you need, got sales tax set up if you actually collect sales tax, you've gotten your business insurance in place, and you've made sure that all your people and your business is credentialed. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.